So things are looking good in Eagle Land. That's 5 in a row. Now to the feedback. And there was a ton of feedback about my comments about we need to give Sirianni more credit and this, that, and just a lot of people saying, oh, well, they're winning in spite of him or they're not winning because of him. And I'm going to throw some stats here at you. Nick Sirianni has coached in 60 regular season games. Do you know how many of them he's won? 41. That's 68% over the course of 5 or 4+ seasons. It's pretty damn good. By comparison, Andy Reid through his first 60 games, 36 wins. So I don't know. I mean, all he does is win. For as goofy as he can be sometimes, and yes, I think we're nitpicking with him. Yes, some of the calls are uber aggressive, and when they don't work out, you're leaving points on the board. But in reality, none of those decisions have cost the Eagles a game this year. You could argue the Atlanta game did, but that was the right call. Saquon just dropped it. And I mean, had you kicked the field goal, it would have been different, whatever, I know. But none of his decisions have cost the Eagles games. And when they work, nobody really has issues with it. So I think we need to take a step back and not be so nitpicky and look at the details because the dude's won 68% of his games. So another stat courtesy of Pat McAfee. Since 2022, only 3 coaches have had winning streaks of 5 games or more in each season. Andy Reid, Sean McDermott, and Nick Sirianni. In fact, Nick's had 5 now. 5 winning streaks of 5 or more games in the past 3 years. He's had different coordinators all 3 years. Completely redid the defense. I mean, what more do we want? And yes, I know he can be goofy. I know some people think he's annoying, but same people probably were the ones that were ripping the Phillies when they hired Charlie Manuel. And how did that work out? And before you say, oh, well, that's what he should have done. He should win 5 in a row. Yeah, and he's done it. And how many coaches have done that? 3. Andy Reid, Sean McDermott, Nick Sirianni. And go ahead, and I'm ready because the next argument people make is, whoa, look at the roster. It's hard not to win with that. Okay, but he's done it 5 times in 3 years. You could also make the argument that Andy Reid has one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game. One of the greatest tight ends to ever play the game. Nobody says, well, Andy Reid's not a good coach. He just has good players, the way we do with Sirianni. Sean McDermott has Josh Allen. Okay, so you got to do what you got to do. And you look through history, when you have talented players, it does not always pan out. Do you think anyone could have coached the Bulls to the 2 3-peats? No, you needed a guy like Phil Jackson. Nobody says Phil Jackson's not a great coach. He had great players. And then he did it again with Shaq and Kobe. Think about the egos he had to do. Nobody says, oh, well, Phil Jackson had great players. Bill Belichick had Tom Brady. I don't hear people saying, there's a lot of people out there that would love to see him coaching the Eagles instead of Nick Sirianni. I don't hear people saying, well, he only won because of Tom Brady. No, he's a good coach. Look at all the talent Doc Rivers had in L.A., even in Boston. He got lucky and won one, and then with the Sixers. And how many did he win? So I think roughly 4.5 years into Nick Sirianni's tenure, he's doing a pretty damn good job. And if you want to say he's goofy, you'll get no arguments out of me. But I think it's time we take a step back. And I know I said this before, and then all of the decisions in the Jacksonville game came back almost to bite us, but they didn't. But, I mean, I think we really need to take a hard, long look at ourselves in the mirror and realize what he's doing here is very special. With all of the drama, all of the controversy, all of the hate that he gets, I mean, to borrow a line, all he does is win. Win, 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 win. 68% of the time, he wins. Only 3 coaches have 5 5-game win streaks over the past 3 years. Nick Sirianni is one of them. He actually, in fact, has 5. Think about that, numbers-wise. Do the math there. 5-game winning streaks in the past 3 years. He had 2 last year. In fact, last year there was an 8-1. He had an 8-game winning streak in 2022 and another 5-game winning streak. And now this 5-game winning streak. Pretty damn good if you ask me. So I'm ready for the Back to the Future voice and text line to blow up today. But you'd be wrong. And again, you can say what you want, but I gave you the argument. The roster, nobody says that about Andy Reid. Nobody says, well, Sean McDermott has Josh Allen. That's the only reason he's a good coach. No. They're not goofy. That's okay. But, and the decisions he's made, when they work out, nobody complains about him. Nobody complained about his decision-making in 2022. And his decision-making has not cost the Eagles a game this year. So just a couple last-minute thoughts there on Sirianni. I have full confidence that he will have this team ready to play on Thursday night.